All right, guys, Mike Davis here, Sound Off Sports. I am so pleased to have a Hall of Famer here with me in the studio. A guy played 13 seasons in the NBA, 2 NBA championships, 11-time All-Star, Hall of Famer, like I mentioned. He's also the author of this beautiful new book, Letters to a Young Athlete, on Amazon right now. You got to make sure you get it. Forward by Pat Riley, the great, the one, the only, Chris Bosh. How you doing, my man?
I'm good. How are you?
It's good to see you.
It's good to be here.
There's so much to talk to you about because, dude, you're Mr. Basketball in Texas, okay? 40-0. You took this team, Lincoln High School. You're in the robotics club while you're doing all this basketball. And then, of course, you go on to have this tremendous NBA career. You might be one of the – I'm listening to your Christmas music this morning, Daddy Jack Records. So you might be one of the smartest dudes to ever come out of the NBA. You taught yourself guitar after having the whole blood clot issue, and you had to retire. How smart are you?
Thank you for that. Thank you very much for that. That's a hell of an intro. I'm learning, man. I can't say that I'm smart. That's like always a dangerous thing, I feel, to fall into, so I never wanted to fall into that trap. I'm always learning. I'm always looking for something new to do, how to expand myself, how to expand my mind, and just have fun. I mean, and to be honest, it's just me. That's just what I love to do.
Who
it's just
you
what
are.
I do. Yeah, it's just who I am.
It's beautiful because, growing up, and it's like it makes sense why you went to Georgia Tech now with all your engineering prowess, your interest in all these different things. A lot of this makes sense. We have so much to talk about, but let's start with NBA Cup before we get to the book and everything else. So NBA Cup, now we're seeing the Knicks and the Spurs are going to be heading off in the championship game. NBA Cup's a new thing. Emirates NBA Cup. Players, the guys that you've spoken to, the guys you're in touch with, how are they taking to this? Because this wasn't around when you were a player, but
it was not.
I think it's a great concept.
It's I think it's been interesting moments in the league, especially I feel like there was pre-bubble and post-bubble.
Right.
And I mean, it's always been not an issue, but something to get the fans more into it, especially during this time, because there can be a slight lull before Christmas.
82 games.
82 games is a marathon, and sometimes, that's why you get paid the big bucks to keep that focus and keep going, but that doesn't make it easy. So I think now, I've only heard great things about the NBA Cup, and I think now it's just something for the players to look forward to, the fans to look forward to, something to shake up just what is usually the regular season. So they've got the courts, right? You've got money on the line. That's great incentives to play for sometimes. And I think there is a general interest from fans everywhere just seeing the best basketball and seeing the best basketball players compete.
Yeah, right now, Jalen Brunson, he's probably going to be the guy, if they win, to get MVP for that NBA Cup. Dropped 40 against the Magic. He hasn't had less than 30, I believe, in 4 straight games. But we're also seeing what Wemby can do. I mean, you as a big man who kind of played the 4, the 5, you were, as lots of people have mentioned, you were a nightmare for matchups, because if the guy was bigger than you, you were too fast, quick, too athletic for them. And then if they were smaller than you, you were too strong, too big for them. Wemby's a different animal.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen anything like Wembanyama? Break down what you see from him. Does he have – he's a true unicorn.
Yeah, he is. We haven't seen him before. I think one of my favorite analogies was from Kevin Garnett. He said he's like KD and Shaq mixed together.
And that was your guy.
And I thought, that was who I looked up growing up. And just to see a guy that tall, right, but have the coordination, the understanding of the game to manipulate the game defensively. I mean, I've played with guys. I played against Yao Ming. I played against Shaq. Right. He's a bit taller than him, or the same height as Yao Ming. Just that length, it affects the game. And seeing what he can do and the skills he possesses, not only down low but up top. I mean, he's ISOing 30 feet away from the basket.
It's sick.
And hitting threes. So, I mean, it's kind of mind-blowing when you see it. Back in my day, I hate saying that now, but back in my day, it was pretty taboo for a big to put the ball on the floor. I remember being in Little League and a coach chastising me for dribbling. I scored.
Right.
I took it coast to coast and scored.
That's what they used to teach.
That's
kids.
how the game was played back then. That's what
they put you in a box. They labeled, and that's what was so impressive about you. You know how hard it is to just have a 2 or 3 year career, but then you kept adding to your game. You became not only a better teammate, as Pat Riley talks about in Letters to a Young Athlete, but you developed your game more. You developed an outside shot. When you were with the Raptors kicking off, you weren't comfortable shooting the 3 like you did by the time you were in Miami. So I think your thirst to improve yourself and your thirst for knowledge, it's not only evident through your music, through Robotics Club, which we got to talk about, but it's just evident through how you developed as an NBA player. So I think that's a beautiful thing. Guys, you got to make sure you check out the NBA Emirates Cup. A lot of great basketball still to be played. You can go to NBAevents.com. Find tickets for that. You're also going to be taking part in the Legends Dinner. So you can meet Chris Bosh and hang out with this guy. And listen, I'm just hoping some of your intellect rubs off on me, just being in your orbit this way. So take me back to high school. I know your dad was a big blues guy, so he loved Hendrix and Buddy Guy, all these kinds of guys. So that's how you kind of ended up finding your way to music. But Robotics Club, tell me what that was like in high school and how weird you must have felt to be this guy who's the star athlete, but also the brainiac.
So it's a bunch of different layers to that story, right? I grew up in a town called Hutchins, Texas, next city south of Dallas. Okay, so I always tell people, if you've gone up or down 45 from Houston to Dallas, you've been through my small little town.
My first station was in Tyler, Texas, so I know.
It's kind of the same vibe, very industrial, lower middle class, very blue collar, so you have to, my granddad built our house that we lived in.
Okay.
So that just gives you the mentality of back then. My dad loved music, loved jazz, loved the blues and all that stuff. So naturally, and my family is really musically inclined. So I have cousins. I had an aunt that wanted to be a concert pianist.
Okay. So it's in your blood a little bit.
It's in the blood. So Thanksgivings, Christmases, sometimes there would sometimes be folks singing around the piano. The robotics thing, I had a teacher. Her name was Miss Etheridge. I'm sure she's still teaching somewhere now.
Okay, shout out
She
Miss
was
Etheridge.
Hello, Miss Etheridge. She always loved to challenge me.
Yeah.
And so she, not that I was coasting, but it was my senior year, and she could kind of see probably, okay, you need to continue your discipline. You've got a gift. You've got all these things. So she made a deal with me. She came to me during class, and she told me, if you join the robotics club, she found out, because of my dad, he had a lot of jobs and things, growing up. He eventually stuck to plumbing design. So, there were too many bring your kids to work days, and throughout his education and community college, I had to go with him.
Gotcha.
So I learned AutoCAD just by being around. You know what I mean?
I don't even know what AutoCAD is.
I don't even know what AutoCAD is. Now AI can do all that stuff, right? So she found out, I can't remember, she found out that I knew AutoCAD. They needed a person for the robotics team to do the schematics for the robot, the measurements, a drawing for their book. So she told me that if I joined the club, I could get an A. I'm like, great, I joined the club. Funny story, we had to go to you have a tournament that you have to go to, right?
Okay.
So you have to win these tournaments.
Robotics tournaments.
Robotics tournaments.
Wow, you're
in
playing
Dallas.
Basketball tournaments and robotics.
And this was before the season, so I could do it. I could train, and then I could go to robotics club, as funny as that is. So one time I had a couple of friends that was coming to get me. I didn't tell them it was a robotics tournament.
Yeah.
I just told them, meet me at this address. It's where we always play basketball. So I'm like, okay, I'll meet you out in the parking lot. Don't come in. They came in, and then my cover was blown.
Oh, no.
So, and the funny part, we weren't a very good team. Our robot sucked, like middle schools were crushing us, right? But you could advance if you could get a spirit grade. So we had to cheer.
Just like enthusiasm.
So we were like, it was pretty funny, but our students wanted, the next trip was College Station.
Oh.
So, like the seniors and everything, they were like,
Smart.
we got to go. It's the only way, that's the furthest some of our people had been from their house, So we were cheering. We had we had a couple pieces of the band there, and then my friends walked in and was like, "What the hell is going on, bro? You've been hiding
It
this
was like
from
you were
us?"
Batman. You were like, it was like you kept your secret identity.
Yeah, I was trying to keep it. I could hear them talking. I'm like, let's just go, bro. You weren't supposed to see this.
See, but when you're like such a cool dude like you, it doesn't matter. So, the music stuff too is fascinating because I'm listening, a different kind of beautiful. You did the river, sleigh ride. You got all these songs. You're composing. Yeah. You're producing.
Yeah.
You're writing the lyrics to some of these songs on your Daddy Jack records. It's amazing because there's this viral video. I remember it. You go on stage. I went to Northwestern at Buddy Guy Legends in Chicago. You go on stage and you practice, 12-bar blues. You're doing all that stuff.
Yeah.
You go on stage and you perform with Buddy Guy.
I didn't know it was going to happen, by the way. My wife surprised me with that one.
Your wife surprised
you? I found out that day.
And you were nervous because you probably just taught yourself guitar and you're with the preeminent blues. Maybe it's Robert Johnson might be the #1 guy all time, but Buddy Guy's up there. And now for a lot of people at home, I'm sure you saw Sinners, right?
Yeah. He was the guy in Sinners at the end. If you haven't seen
with
Sinners,
the scar,
old man. Yeah.
And it's kind of great. But his music, he just came out with the new album. Tell me your affinity for blues because we've seen Wayman Tisdale play with the Jazz, #1 overall pick. He was a Sooner, I believe, played the upside down guitar, did a lot of smooth jazz, Grover Washington kind of vibe.
Yeah.
But you're like this guy who taught yourself music after you had the blood clot, and it shortened your career. So tell me why music became your thing.
I started reading books. I had never had time to think of other things when I was playing basketball. I only thought about basketball. I only thought about winning.
Yeah.
Thought about my family too, but that became pretty immediate, getting married and having children and all that stuff. So the scope of things and interests was very narrow. Once I start thinking about these other things, I start reading all these books, the self-help books, and they always say, hey, follow your heart. Follow your heart. You've got to follow your heart. Do what you love.
Right.
I love basketball. That's what I kept coming back to. So I had to find other interests, and I challenged myself to kind of be open, open.
That's such a hard thing to do.
It's a very hard thing to do, and it was just a hard thing being in that
especially when
position.
you're a Hall of Famer and things come to you so naturally, and you're so gifted at something, and you put so much hard work and energy into becoming a master, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Reading these self-help books, it's like, yeah, you were gifted, but to become the level you got to, that takes a lot of years of dedication. So to me, I think it's such a beautiful mentality, and I'm sure a lot of it is in this book, is that to be so good at something and then to willing to be bad.
Yeah.
That's like hard, because
that's the hard part.
You don't pick up the guitar and you're not Prince,
It was very humbling, and I had never been humbled. I mean, the most humbling experience I had ever been into up until that point was like losing in the finals.
Right.
But you're still a master. There's still next season. There's always something to build on in basketball.
And in a team sport, you don't always take all the blame.
Yeah. It's spread around. Very good point. And so, like for me, it was something to I had to find things to kind of keep my mind occupied. And I started meeting people through music. I started picking up a guitar. I started playing it. And because I told myself, I said, man, I always wanted to learn an instrument.
Yeah. And
that was like one of the first things, if not the first thing that came up. So I just started doing that, following my heart and everything, right? And I just kept playing. And then I started learning about producing. Then I started meeting people, great people in LA, Miami, New York, having great stories, cut records with people you wouldn't even believe.
Like who?
Usher's a great friend.
Wow.
Gary Clark's a great friend.
See, you're in Austin. I was going to say you should link up with Gary Clark.
Gary's
Jr.
a great guy. Some West Coast guys, Lawrence Dobson and 1500 Records. Those are some great guys out there. They've, always been just, instrumental in teaching me things like, yo, you need to learn this. Gavin Rosdale is a great friend. It's just funny how things just kept, multiplying. I kept meeting people, and it just, it was just a great therapeutic thing. And I love live music too. So like going to Glastonbury, you got to go one day if you've never been. Coachella before it came too much.
I mean, yeah, I've been to a lot of the blues. I'm a big blues jazz guy. I saw you, like Antone's. I saw you there. In
Antone's,
Austin.
I mean, anywhere.
You've done it, all that
Anywhere.
kind of stuff. But it's amazing how, basketball and music bring everybody together. But, I took a read at a sample on Amazon of letters to a young athlete. I was reading the foreword from Pat Riley and reading a little bit about your perspective on what you're trying to bring through this book, because I think you've been around so many great people, Coach K, Pat Riley, LeBron, so many instrumental figures in your life. It's amazing that you're kind of packaging all these learnings and this way that you live your life, and you're gifting it to young athletes, because I think it's a great attitude and a great perspective to have. Pat Riley, just to share a few words, he's talking in the beginning of the foreword of this book about how you really had to sacrifice so much, relinquish touches, points, shots, all these things to make the big three work with you, LeBron and Wade, and your temperament was so key, he felt, to everything. And then he obviously takes us through the sequence of the NBA Finals against the Spurs, where you get the rebound, the assist to Ray Allen, the block on Danny Green. I have so many questions, but why this book? What do you think a young athlete, if in robotics club and on their basketball team, if they got this book for Christmas from Santa, what are they going to take home?
One thing I want people to understand about this book is that I wrote it in a place of leaving my token of appreciation, a memento, if you will, to the game of basketball. Because I'm telling you, man, all I had was a dream. I was just a kid with a dream. I know I was dribbling up and down my house all times of the night. I'm sure my mom and dad was, like, this kid thinks he's going to make the NBA. Like, come on. Such a far-fetched dream.
Yeah.
This is me recounting my steps. This is me recounting the people that have inspired me. It's me recounting the stories that really left an impression on me, because I had people that have helped me through this journey.
Yeah.
And there are things, singular moments that I remember, and so these letters are pretty much like a blueprint for success, in my opinion, and how it helped me.
The 2003 NBA draft, I'm so curious because, obviously LeBron goes 1, 2, Darko Milicic, weird one there. 3, Melo, 4 you, and 5 Wade. And I think James Worthy was sitting in this chair just a few weeks ago talking NBA Cup, and he had something really interesting. He said, the hardest thing I think about the NBA and elite level athletes is their whole life, like you just said, is about getting to the NBA. It's not about becoming an all-star. It's not about becoming the best ever. It's like there's this one big lofty goal to just get there.
Yeah.
And then that kind of holds a lot of people back in terms of their development. So I'm curious for you, a guy who goes to Toronto, after you leave Toronto, you lead them in everything. Every statistical category, points, rebounds, minutes played, blocks, you're the guy there, assists. And then you go on to do more great stuff, and you become a Hall of Famer 2 times over for the Redeemed team and just for you individually. A guy like Darko Milicic, even a guy like Melo, a lot of people said Melo could have even been better. He didn't want it as bad as maybe Wade and LeBron and you. You see all these guys in 2003 that get drafted. They're all high achievers. They're all like you, putting in the Malcolm Gladwell 10,000 hours, dribbling on the driveway. They're all trying to do the same thing.
For sure.
But not everybody gets a 13-year career. Not everybody becomes an 11-time All-Star. Not everybody becomes a Hall of Famer. So where does that extra juice come from in the journey? Because is that something that's getting in with this book and tied in?
Definitely. It's definitely getting tied in. It's finding that hunger. So one of my chapters is called The Gift of Hunger.
Yeah.
And I'm explaining that you have to have that gift of hunger. Use that gift of hunger to get what you want, to work for what you want. Of course, we have to be realistic with ourselves. We have to set goals. But in going after those goals, you have to be hungry, because because sometimes guys, and as you get more successful, you'll kind of see how things. You want me to wait, or
wait one second. I think sorry.
No, that's fine.
All right, continue. I'm sorry.
Just in the quest for those things, you're gonna run into hard times. You're gonna run into moments where might want to quit, or quitting enters your mind, or you have to have that hunger necessary to play those 82 games,
right?
In a season. For me, Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant, Kevin Garnett, Tim Duncan, these were my heroes and the people setting the tone for winning. And I grew up in a culture of winning too. So
you looked up to KG, but like even with a Kobe or something, like are a lot of these lessons, are they just things you're picking up from, or did you ever pull Kobe aside or Duncan aside and try to really like learn game from them, or is it just stuff you're picking up on by osmosis?
So I had a coach, Sam Mitchell. Coach,
oh,
what's up,
Sam
Coach?
Mitchell, I remember.
Sam, has he been here before? Sam
no,
Mitchell.
No, he hasn't been here, but I remember with Raptors.
He was my Raptors coach early on. He pushed me and pushed me and pushed me to want to be great. I already wanted it, but he aided in that. He was KG's mentor and older coach, and not coach, player, his vet player.
Gotcha.
And I wanted to soak up everything from him, so it was always super competitive.
Yeah. Sorry. Can you? I think it's just a speaker. I don't know what it is right there. I think it's the speaker. Power that down. Do you still hear everything?
I don't hear anything right now.
But I'm saying you hear me.
I hear you.
Okay.
Okay, test this. Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. No, Sam Mitchell, he was my coach, and I was looking for gems from KG and all that stuff. I wanted to be friends and everything, and I wanted to soak up that knowledge. I went to KG once. He pretty much told me no. And at the time, I was a youth. He's a competitor, but you have to learn that competitiveness. So after that, I never tried to speak with Tim. I didn't talk to Kobe until after we were done playing, So I was very guarded in a sense because coming from a winning culture in high school, wanting to win as an adult, wanting to be Kobe, wanting to be Mike, wanting to be these successful people and hold up that trophy one day, wanting to be Pat Riley, right? You have to develop that hunger, that want to win. And so I had to learn to be competitive.
Yeah, I think that's such a key. I think, you have the drive paired with the gifts is the most important thing. And I think that's what makes special guys like you. It comes from your parents, comes from your upbringing, all that great stuff. What was that conversation like with Kobe?
It was, later. He was telling me he was going to win an Oscar. It was like months and months before. He did win an Oscar. No, I'm telling you. It's years before. I think it was like 15 months.
Wow.
14 months. We're having dinner. We would try to have dinner once a year because I was always in LA, hanging out during the summertime. And, before we go our separate ways, we'd have go back home, we have dinner. And he was telling me, like, yeah, I'm going to win an Oscar. And John Williams is doing the score. And I was like, man, Kobe, come on, dude. I know you're the greatest of all time, man. Come on. Oscar, come on, man.
Right.
Over a year later, I'm watching him walk across the Oscar, and they're retiring his 2 jerseys. And I'm like, damn, he might be the greatest Laker of all time. Magic Johnson then says, the greatest Laker of all time. So just being close to that, hearing his ambitions. He was an author as well. Yeah. Him explaining his series to me. So, the last time we spoke, we talked about film. We talked about art. We talked about writing. Yeah. We talked about story. Yeah. So
you guys are cut from the same cloth.
He was smart.
No, you guys are both
You called me smart. He was smart.
You guys are both smart.
Me, I'm still trying.
I always love guys who are just, you can't put them in a box, I think it's such a great thing to have varied interests and all that stuff. So a few last things as we're wrapping up here. Obviously, NBA Cup, you got to make sure you go to NBAevents.com. You can hang out with Chris Bosh, Legends Dinner. It's going to be a lot of fun. All your old buddies are here. We got Wade in the house.
Yeah, everybody's here.
All these people. Weird question. So you're drafted 4th overall, being a kid from Texas, small town. Was it like weird to you to go to Canada? Like
yes.
I don't know if you've ever been like asked that, but like, is it like, were you thinking like, man, everywhere I can be drafted, but I got to go international? Like, what was your feeling?
I'm not going to lie. It was a tough pill to swallow at first.
Yeah.
But when you really dug into it, Vince Carter
Right.
getting a chance to be his teammate. I'm going, and it's the NBA. I'm going. There was a culture shock.
Yeah.
When I got there, I wasn't as used to the cold as I am now. It's a lot of different foods you can eat down there,
Yeah.
a little more diverse. And to be honest, it's more mixed in. It's more of a melting pot.
Yeah.
So their concept of race and identity is different. And what I mean by that is, like, I would tell stories of the white part of town, the black part of town. This is unfortunately
Right.
some of part of living in the United States, right?
Right.
People were so shocked when I would tell them that or describe home, so there was a culture shock in getting used to that. But once I got used to it, I mean, it's one of the greatest cities in the world.
Yeah.
I love my time there. I kind of, tell people that's like my growing up years.
Yeah.
I replaced college with,
Dude,
with
it was so cool because you translated so well to the NBA. You had the dreads, you were high flying, you were just a monster on the board.
The dreads came later, man. That's only because I tried braids and it didn't work out. I wish I would have kept them for one more year. I probably would have cut them after we lost to the Mavericks. That's when I probably would have been like, okay, yeah, let's go.
Speaking of the Heat, the whole, the build-up for that. There was talks of you going to Houston. You end up doing the big three with Wade, LeBron, and, not one, not two, I'm sure everybody talks to you about that. But
not as much as you think.
The pressure, I do think it's like a fascinating thing, and it's great that you had Spo and Riley there, but, to become like villains in the NBA to a degree, what was that like year in, year out? Because, you guys, from the decision, from everything, it was a weird thing because it almost must have felt like, and just superhero, you're going from Batman to the Joker kind of thing. Did it feel like that on a day-to-day basis?
Absolutely. My experience was everybody was really nice to me that summer before. So 2009 was one of the best summers of my life. Right. Everybody wanted to be my friend. Yeah. Everybody was nice to me. I'm not lying to you. Every city that I went to was very nice because they wanted me to come. So the fans, I got great reception.
You're saying just like a Raptor player, like
from a Raptor player,
the Grizzlies, like people, because
if I'm in New York, if I'm in Memphis,
because people want to see
Dallas,
Chris Bosh play,
and that was a great feeling. 2010, we were just along for the ride, man. What do you know at 24, 25 years old? You don't know anything, right? Yeah. So. Or you know what you know. So we were just kind of along with the ride. That whole stage thing, we didn't plan that. People think like, oh, yeah, we planned it. We didn't plan that. The decision thing, that was Bron's thing.
Right.
We were in our own little bubble until we came out and realized that people didn't like that. So what I mean by that is during the whole stage, the not one, not two, not three, it's kind of, funny now, but we were excited. And he was speaking from a time like, we're not here to win 1, 2, 3. We want to win them all.
Right.
Setting the tone. We just didn't think that would juice up other teams and, guys that are looking for competition or a reason to get out of bed in the morning. We just gave it to them. We gave them all the ammo.
Right.
It was fun. We were on a stage in Miami.
No, and it's your 24, 25. And I think my take on it, honestly, this might be a hot take. Tell me if you agree. I look back on that, I wish the NBA the players had that competitive drive to that degree today, I think. Because I think there's a lot of guys that do, but I also think there's a lot of guys that would not relinquish shots.
Yeah, it's hard.
And all those things to win.
Especially now, right?
Especially now. That's what I'm saying. So I think the fact that everybody wanted to come together and form the Avengers in Miami for basketball it's actually a great thing because it means it wasn't about selfish accolades. It was all about you guys winning championships, and I think we need that. And then look how that bred animosity from other teams. To me, I hate the jersey swap in the NFL and the NBA. That's our problem. I rather have the fact that Dirk hates your guts and that's how I feel.
It's damn near necessary.
Don't you think?
Well, I mean, look. At the end of the day, there can only be one, unfortunately. If we're playing this game, if you want to be a champion, right? I'm just talking about wanting to be champion. If you want to be a champion, there's certain things that you're going to have to sacrifice. Sometimes friendships is one of them. Or you have to learn how to be a friend after beating each other up. And even in that, I don't want to be your friend because I have to play you 4 times
Right.
every year, and then in the playoffs, and things are going to be on the line, and things get very serious, and the pressure hits. And for us, it was funny. This term super team was around all the time. If you know your history, go through your homework. Kevin Garnett, Ray Allen, Rajon Rondo, Paul Pierce, Kobe Bryant, Lamar Odom, coming off the bench, Paul Gasol, Metta World Peace.
To win championships, you got to be a super.
James Worthy, Kareem, Magic. They were on the same team. Young Byron Scott. People don't even remember Byron Scott could play.
Right.
And since the beginning of time, you need a lot. You have to have a collection of talent to be successful and win championships. That's what this was about. That's why we came to Miami. Pat Riley, it was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for him, and he knew the urgency and how important it was. Now we know.
I love it. Listen, everybody at home.
That's yours. Take that book, man. That's yours.
This for me. Listen,
yeah,
everybody's got to go get this book. We're all looking for Hanukkah gifts, Christmas gifts. You want your young athlete to be like this guy, not just a one-trick pony, a guy who can do everything, robotics, music, an intellectual, a guy who appreciates all these different things, and Mr. Basketball of Texas. This is the book your child needs to read. There's so many great lessons in here. Last thing, we even got Colin Coward, my guy, in here wrote something. I love that.
Got some, you got to have the one-liners.
What's the one thing you learned from Pat Riley that everybody at home should know right now?
If you're going to do something that you love, be passionate about it. Where am I looking?
Right there.
Yeah.
Look right there.
Passion, right? Sometimes we can do things hopelessly or aimlessly, but if we do things that we love and we fill it with passion, I think that's a hell of a starting point. I think using your mind to find yourself, find your passion, and then just go through the story. That's one of the greatest things you can do. One of my favorite books is The Alchemist.
Same with me.
Yeah, if you read The Alchemist,
Paulo Coelho
follows his heart, and it leads him to where it leads him to. But it's about the story, right?
Yeah,
chasing
it's
your passion and having a hell of a story. That's what it's about.
In The Alchemist, he goes on, the young shepherd, he goes on this whole journey, learns all these lessons, and he comes back to the same place where he started, right? And that's a lot how life's like. So
that's kind of where I'm at right now.
You're going back to Robotics Club right after this interview.
I wouldn't say that, but shoot, if you're in Robotics Club, keep going.
I love it. Listen, the one, the only Chris Bosh, man, you're something else. I can talk to you for hours.
Thanks a lot, man.
Thanks so much for coming here, guys. NBA Cup, Emirates NBA Cup, NBAevents.com. Go check it out. Spurs, Knicks, championship game.
Should be good.
See what happens.
Should
I can't
be a
wait
good
to see. Prediction.
Should be a good. I don't know.
Go
good
with my
game.
Knicks.
Go
with
game.
my
You're
Knicks.
going Knicks? Okay, we're going with the Knicks guy, huh?
I grew up with
I know a lot of
Jalen
people
Brunson.
watching this will be like, you didn't go for the Knicks, so I'm going to go with the Knicks. We'll see what happens. But I live close to San Antonio, so I live in Austin. So
See, exactly. What did you think about Mike Brown, from Tibbs to Mike Brown? How did that open up their offense, the Knicks?
I mean, Mike Brown has always been, especially in today's age, more of not more of an offensive oriented guy, but very clever in his offensive schemes and structure and spacing. Him having Karl Anthony Towns and Brunson, big and small defenders, 3-and-D guys. They're young, they're athletic, they play defense. Very exciting. And the Spurs, with Wembanyama, the way he can affect the game when he had 22 in 21 minutes,
Dude.
22 and 9 in 21 minutes
It's
the
crazy.
other night.
I just feel old because I remember playing NBA Live with Ron Harper, and now we got Dylan Harper.
There you go.
You know what I'm talking about? It's but that's a
That's great.
tale for another time. Chris Bosh, go get the book, Letters to a Young Athlete. Thank you, guys.